Hello, and welcome to another episode of Health Coach for Women. Today, I'd like to talk to you about, can we really heal our bodies, right, in a natural way? Can we really do that? Well, the short answer is yes. And I just want to talk about a little bit about that today, um, because I'm not saying, again, when I want to start this off correct, I'm not saying that I'm against traditional medicine. What I am saying is that there are other alternative ways of healing and truly healing without uh, just treating symptoms, right? And so we know that today, in this modern medicine, in this traditional medicine, I should say, that it's all about giving someone a pill to mask symptoms, but it does not heal. And so we want to focus on healing. We want to focus on healing the body. Now, the body does its work on its own with a lot of things. The body's goal is always striving to maintain that balance, right? Homeostasis. It's always working towards doing that. But what happens is when we fuel our bodies with a lot of unhealthy foods, we develop what we call toxins in our bodies. And these toxins that develop does damage, right? And we know this. We know this, and this is how we get this is how we end up getting inflammation and causing damage to tissues and cells, these cells in our bodies, right? So we want to, how can we do that? How can we heal ourselves in a natural way without the use of traditional medicine that comes with side effects and can also bring about other health conditions? Just like when you look at the commercials, you notice that, they'll have all of these, they'll tell you what the drug is supposed to do, but then also give you all of the side effects that comes with the drug as well. So we just want to look at a natural way of doing things, a natural way of healing. And what are some of those things that we can do? What are some of those things that we can do to heal our bodies? Well, we can start by trying our best to find whole organic foods. Again, I stress this all and say it all the time. You hear it with many health professionals: fresh fruits and vegetables, your greens, have as much greens and everything as you can. You want to go as organic as possible. You can buy fresh produce. Not to say that frozen is bad, but you can buy fresh produce as well. Frozen is okay. I have some frozen kale in the freezer right now. So, but you want to go fresh as possible, buying fresh organic foods. So another thing is, what do we need to do to keep our mental together, right? We need to keep our mental health together. And a part of that is starting out your day by simply doing simple things as breathing exercises, setting your intentions. That's so important. Prayer, if you're a person of faith like myself, prayer, beginning your day off with prayer, it helps us keep you grounded. And setting those intentions, it's important, right? Setting those intentions for yourself and how you're going to start the day. That's important. And speaking words of affirmations for your day and for your body for healing. And that's important. And when we speak it, we need to feel it. We need to really feel it and really get into it and feel it and believe it. But we also need to take action to make those things a reality. We also need to take action. So doing some stretching in the morning, deep breathing exercises, stretching in the morning. If you have time for a 10 to 15-minute workout, depending on your schedule, you set your schedule according to how your day is. If you're a morning person, and you rather do it at night, or if you're a morning person, you rather exercise early in the morning. Me, I'm a morning person as far as to get up and get started, get the day going. And so I prefer to do it in the morning, get it done and get it out the way. To be quite honest, I'm not an exercise buff, right? I'm not oh, I have to get my exercise in. No, but I know what it does for the body, and I know that's what I need to do to nourish my body. So even if I'm starting out my day with doing some stretching, um, uh, warm up exercises and breathing, um, any type of maybe some push-ups, something, I'm going to do at least uh, 15 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes of some type of exercise, because it's what our body needs. It helps fuels the body. It helps burn those calories as well. And it helps with the lower back. It helps with the lower back, any tension and stress that you felt from the night before. It helps to relieve some of that tension that we may be experiencing. And so if you are someone who experiences a lot of chronic pain or go through a little fatigue and depression, a lot of the things that we experience as far as illnesses, it's due to our diet. It is actually due to our diet. And what's happening is when we consume the foods that's not healthy for us, that's not good for us, or that's actually depleting us of our energy, well, of course, that's why we feel drained and we feel tired and we feel exhausted. And not to mention that some of the foods that we could be eating could be inflammatory, right? So some of those foods are a lot of causes a lot of inflammation. Foods that contain omega-6 is highly inflammatory, such as example of that will be soy, right? And so we need to find out what foods should we be consuming that's right for our bodies, and what foods are rich in ions and the minerals and nutrients that we need to sustain our bodies, to have that fuel that the body needs. And another thing is, some of the foods that we eat, some of it is not that it's the food itself. Some of it's the food. Now, don't get me wrong, but the things that's on the food, right? That's why you have to wash your fruits and vegetables off. You have to rinse them off, due to pesticides and things like that. These chemicals, what it's doing is creating a barrier. What it is what's happening is that the body cannot absorb those nutrients as well as it should. It can't. And so what happens when the cell is unable to absorb those nutrients, the cell weakens, and it thrives off of oxygen. It needs oxygen to survive. So what happens when the nutrients can't get into the cell, it eventually dies because it lacks getting the oxygen and it lacks getting the nutrients that it needs, that we need for energy to fuel our bodies. And so we can heal ourselves by simply making these slow changes, making these shifts, right? And choosing better options, making it a lifestyle. It has to become a lifestyle. It's not something that you do, oh, I'm going to do this for 30 days and then I'm going to go back to eating the way I was eating before. No, you can't do that. It has to be a lifestyle. It has to be a change. If you want lasting change, you have to make take the actions to make those lasting results. So no longer, maybe, and if you're a smoker, you may want to cut back or just cold turkey altogether, consuming a lot of starchy foods, a lot of sugary foods. We know those refined sugars are no good. High fructose corn syrup. Pay attention to what you're buying in the store. Pay attention to what you're purchasing in the store, right? And you want to go with things that are natural, organic. Now, the thing with that is when you purchase the natural organic products, especially the fruits and vegetables, they will deteriorate fast. They will spoil quickly because it's organic. It's nothing preserving it. So you want to make sure when you purchase it, you're going to use it within the next few days or so, within that time, because it doesn't last long. And so that's the only thing about, when you buy fresh produce, you have to use it quickly and you can't leave it and expect for it to last 2 or 3 weeks because it's going to go bad. So we want to do that. We want to and drink, stay hydrated, drinking a lot of water. I'm always talking about green tea. We need to drink some green tea. And now that the weather, well, depending on where you are, now that it's getting a little cooler here where I am, sometimes I can have the tea twice a day. You know, some green tea, ginger tea with turmeric and tulsi. I take those together. You can have that together, and it's great for the common cold. It's great, you know, to fight off any colds that may be coming on. And some other things that you can do. It's not just one thing, right? We know that it's not just one thing. Diet is important. Diet is the essential part to good health. Is diet, 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 diet. I can't stress that enough. And so we have to make sure that we are consuming the right foods. And the body, like I said, the body is always working because we're full of billions and billions of cells. And so it's always working for us to maintain that balance. It's always working for us, but we have to do our part in putting in the right foods and ingesting the right foods in our bodies. So we need to be mindful of that. We need to be mindful of what we're putting in our bodies. And the body is made to naturally heal itself, and it can heal itself. Even with serious illnesses such as cancer, you know, many people have had their cancer go back into remission without chemo. You know, I've heard of stories of people with MS where they're able to manage their symptoms, where they don't have experienced symptoms anymore. You know, so it's all about educating yourself. It's all about being your own advocate, right? Standing up for yourself when it comes to your health. And I've mentioned before, if you have a physician and you're taking medication, before you do any type of take any additional like supplements or things like that, you should always consult with your doctor first, you know, and always rely on that inner knowing. You know, if you don't feel confident in what the doctor is telling you, that inner knowing, that intuition that you feel, it's usually correct. You know, because doctors, they're just human, just like us, just like you and I. They're human, and many of them are following only what they've been taught and not going outside the box and looking at alternative medicine, alternative healing, because there are other ways rather than just prescribing a pill to someone to mask symptoms. It's about prevention. It's about prevention. So how can we prevent disease and illness from occurring in the first place? Let's look at that. How can we do that? By simply doing some of the little things that I've already mentioned, such as, you know, eating the proper foods, the right diet, and eat when you're hungry and know when you're full to not eat, right? That's another thing. When you're not hungry, there's no need to eat. So you eat when you're hungry. Eat when you're hungry. And your body knows when it's hungry. So you get the growling pains, you get that. And so you eat enough to satisfy your hunger pains. What's enough? You don't have to have a big, huge plate, a portion of food on your plate. You eat enough and you color your plate. You color your plate with fruits, with vegetables, different color foods, and you also have your fruit that you consume also. You try to have your fruits daily, your citrus fruits, your bananas. Now, some people are allergic to citrus fruits. So whatever, you know your body more than anyone. So you want to make sure that you are eating the right foods. You know, some Brazil nuts, some raw nuts, Brazil nuts, walnuts. I'm not a fan of walnuts. I don't mind having it in some banana bread. But for some reason, I'm not a fan of just eating it by itself. I think I can have it in a salad, but by itself, I don't know. It's like this funny little aftertaste that I just don't like it. But Brazil nuts are good. Cashews are good as well, but they are fattening and they're acidic. Now, you know, when we talk about an alkaline diet, some people want to just say, oh, well, they're just going to avoid all acidic foods. Now, remember, the body, there's a balance. There's always a balance with everything. Your body does need acid just as it needs alkaline, but it requires more alkaline than it does acid. Does that make sense? So there's always a little bit, there's always some type of balance going on in the body. There's always something that you need, that balance that's goes on in the body. And you always want to do your best to be more in an alkaline state rather than an acidic state, because we know that no disease can survive in an alkaline environment, but they will grow and thrive in an acidic environment. So with that being said, we do all we can with what we know. And so the things that we don't know, it's up to us to research and find out information, right? And the best information that I can tell you that you're going to get information from the people who practice the natural health and integrative medicine, alternative medicine. You get quite a few. Now, everyone has their differences of certain things, of what foods to eat, what foods they shouldn't eat, or maybe you shouldn't eat an excessive amount of it. You shouldn't have an excessive amount of certain foods, right? We know that because, for example, like they say the legumes, you know, that what it does, like lentils. And I eat lentils. I will tell you, I'll eat lentils. I don't eat it as much, but I do eat lentils. So once in a while I have some lentils. But what they're saying, that these foods contain lectins, which prevents the nutrients from being absorbed in the body. So it's all in, and not to say you need to know everything. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know the basics, the simple basics of fresh greens. You can never go wrong with fresh greens, dark leafy greens, and your fruits and your vegetables, right? You can never go wrong with those simple things. Dairy, now for those who consume dairy, now you know that dairy comes from milk, and it's mucus forming. So mucus forming, you want to avoid that, because we need mucus, but we don't need an excessive amount of mucus in the body. Okay, so it's just simple things like that that you need to know. So that's why for me, I became a vegetarian, so I no longer consume any meat nor dairy products. So we need to just do the best with what we know, and the things that we don't know, be inquisitive to learn more. Be inquisitive to know what foods are affecting your health, right? And that's why you can do an elimination diet, take away foods, and see what is your body experiencing going through when you eliminate certain foods, right? Do you feel more energetic? Do you feel more lethargic? You know, what are you feeling in your body? And it'll let you know, when you just take away some simple foods. And that's some of the things that I teach when I work with my clients, as we go through the elimination diet, and we do several other things that I look at when I'm working with my clients and getting them to that optimal health. And another thing is, I mentioned being intentional. I mentioned about starting your day off with you got to have the right mindset. And that's so important. You got to have the right mindset, because we can't go into feeling that like it's hopeless, that, you're never going to get better. You're never going to heal. You have to have a new way of thinking and believe that you are going to be healed. You are going to get healthier. You are going to get better. You're going to get stronger, right? And having those intentions and those firm, strong beliefs, and believing that, and doing what you need to do on your part. Doing what you need to do on your part. Now, there's so many other methods of healing that people practice, and I'm not against what other people do. But for me, as a health coach, My main focus is focusing on what you put into your body, right? Focusing on what foods we're putting into our body and keeping our minds, because we know that our thoughts influence our reality. Our thoughts create things, and it leaves markers. It leaves markers. So it's so important to change the way we think, change the way we do things, change the way we feel and believe about certain things, because it does have an impact on our health. Believe it or not, it does have an impact on our health. And we know that stress is the silent killer. We know this, right? Stress is the silent killer. So we need to be mindful of what we're doing. Be mindful of what we're saying. Be mindful of those things. Set your intentions with positivity. Set your intentions for the day. And it's not to say that you won't experience anything bad during the day, or someone won't get you upset throughout the day at work or on a road going to work or just whatever. But it's about learning how to manage when you encounter these situations, learning how to be able to really manage your emotions and manage your thoughts and your behaviors. That's important. That's a key part as well. That's a key part as well. And so let's look at that. And with some cells, cells die in the body, right? We know that when cells are no longer working as they should, they eventually die. And so, the body is producing new cells all the time. All the time, it's producing new cells. But we can, with some cells, it can be reversed. With some cells, depending on how much of damage is done to the cell, they can be reversed, right? And so that's what I'm teaching. That's what I'm doing in my program. Working on helping people to get the optimal health down to the cellular level, And so that's basically it in a nutshell. I just wanted you guys to stay mindful, be intentional with everything that you do, be intentional, and don't judge yourself so harshly. Don't judge yourself so harshly. Be okay with when you fall short. It's okay. You just get back up and you start over and you do it again. And that's the good thing about having a coach, right? Your coach is there to help you and to support you. And your coach is there to help you work through those times when you're feeling like that. And it's good to have a coach. I myself have had a coach, right? And it's nothing wrong with that. And as your coach, I'm here to support you, help you on your wellness journey, and so that you can follow your path. Follow your path. That is all I have for you today on this episode. I hope that there was something that you took away on this episode. There was some takeaway for you. And if you like this episode, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel. Share with friends if you're listening on Spotify, any other platforms, iHeartRadio, any of the other platforms that I'm on. Please share it with someone. And I thank you so much. Be intentional with your day. Be positive. The body can heal itself. You just have to take action. You just have to believe and know that you are radiant and beautiful from the inside out. Have a great day, all. Bye for now.